1. A CSPM instructor is developing a training module on risk assessment. Which strategy best aligns with adult learning principles to engage learners? A. Delivering a lengthy lecture with minimal interaction. B. Incorporating real-world case studies and role-play scenarios. C. Assigning rote memorization of technical definitions. D. Using standardized video content without discussion. 2. When evaluating project security compliance, which method most effectively measures both knowledge retention and practical application? A. True-false knowledge quizzes. B. Peer-reviewed simulations of project security breaches. C. Written reports summarizing textbook material. D. Attendance and participation tracking. 3. During CSPM exam preparation, which communication strategy most improves knowledge transfer for adult learners? A. Speaking rapidly to cover more content in less time. B. Using technical jargon exclusively to enforce accuracy. C. Relating security concepts to learners' previous professional experiences. D. Encouraging silent note-taking without interaction. 4. A mentor in CSPM certification is guiding a new project manager. Which approach demonstrates best mentoring practice? A. Critiquing mistakes without offering solutions. E. Sharing personal experiences and encouraging reflection. C. Avoiding feedback to preserve independence. D. Assigning tasks beyond the mentee's capability without support. 5. In curriculum development for CSPM candidates, which method ensures regulatory compliance remains central? A. Embedding compliance standards as optional references. B. Including compliance as supplemental readings only. C. Integrating compliance checks within case studies and project simulations. D. Delegating compliance instruction to external trainers without context. 6. Which evaluation method most accurately assesses a learner's ability to apply CSPM principles in a high-pressure environment? A. Timed multiple-choice test. B. Open book essay exam. C. Crisis simulation with decision-making exercises. D. Group discussion without performance criteria. 7. In facilitating a CSPM workshop, how should an instructor address diverse learning styles to maximize retention? A. Deliver the same lecture, regardless of background. B. Incorporate visual aids, interactive tasks, and discussions. C. Rely solely on text-heavy slides. D. Assign only independent reading. 8. A CSPM candidate demonstrates strong theoretical knowledge, but struggles in practical application. Which instructional strategy best supports improvement? A. Encourage memorization of project guidelines. B. Assign collaborative project-based learning tasks. C. Provide additional reading material only. D. Reduce opportunities for application to avoid errors. 9. Which mentoring technique most effectively builds long-term professional growth for CSPM trainees? A. Focus exclusively on technical expertise. B. Encourage reflective practice and critical self-assessment. C. Deliver generic advice without context. D. Emphasize competition among mentees. 10. A CSPM course designer wants to evaluate learners' understanding of security project governance. Which assessment tool is most effective? A. Oral presentations graded with a rubric tied to governance principles. B. Short answer quizzes on governance definitions. C. Random peer evaluations without clear criteria. D. Instructor-led Q&A without structured scoring. 11. What is the most effective way to foster communication during CSPM certification training? A. Restricting dialogue to the instructor's input only. B. establishing open forums for questioning and collaborative problem-solving. C. Limiting learners to email queries after sessions. D. Discouraging peer-to-peer exchanges. 12. To ensure curriculum alignment with CSPM industry standards, the instructor should A. Regularly review regulatory frameworks and update content accordingly. B. Create static course content that remains unchanged for years. C. Use only learner feedback as the basis for updates. D. Eliminate compliance content to reduce learner burden. 13. Which adult learning principle should guide CSPM instructors in structuring project security lessons? A. Adults learn best with abstract theories unrelated to their work. B. Adults value problem-centered learning connected to real experiences. C. Adults learn best through passive listening. D. Adults prefer uniform instruction without adaptation. 14. A CSPM instructor needs to mentor learners struggling with time management in projects. Which technique is most effective? A. Model scheduling techniques and provide guided practice. B. Assign additional unrelated tasks to build endurance. C. Penalize learners for missed deadlines without coaching. D. Avoid discussing scheduling to keep focus on technical topics. 15. Which evaluation tool best balances objectivity and learner reflection in CSPM training? A. Peer review with clear criteria and instructor moderation. B. Self-evaluation with no instructor feedback. C. Randomized testing without connection to course goals. D. Participation grades based on attendance. 16. Which instructional method ensures CSPM candidates can adapt security frameworks to evolving regulations? A. Static memorization of outdated compliance codes. B. Guided exercises applying regulations to current case studies. C. Elimination of regulation content to reduce complexity. D. Exclusive reliance on instructor lecture notes. 17. A CSPM mentor emphasizes continuous professional development. What practice best supports this? A. Encouraging learners to attend industry seminars and report back. B. Limiting learners' development to the current project scope. C. Withholding resources to foster independence. D. Restricting networking opportunities. 18. Which method of curriculum evaluation ensures that CSPM training programs meet both learner and industry needs? A. Anonymous feedback surveys combined with regulatory audits. B. Ignoring feedback to maintain course consistency. C. Relying only on exam pass rates. D. Conducting internal reviews without external input. 19. When introducing compliance requirements in CSPM training, which instructional strategy is most effective? A. Present regulations as abstract legal text. B. Connect regulations to real-world project failures and successes. C. Avoid regulatory content until the final assessment. D. Provide regulations without discussion or examples. 20. Which communication strategy enhances clarity during CSPM mentoring sessions? A. Use of active listening and paraphrasing learner concerns. E. Speaking in complex terms to assert authority. C. Limiting sessions to one-way advice. D. Avoiding questions to save time. 21. Which adult learning method helps CSPM candidates retain knowledge of project risk management? A. Scenario-based simulations with debriefing. B. Memorization of risk definitions only. C. Sole reliance on textbook diagrams. D. Listening to a recorded lecture repeatedly. 22. A CSPM instructor is designing an evaluation rubric. Which element is most critical for fairness and effectiveness? A. Clear, measurable criteria tied to learning objectives. B. Vague descriptors to allow flexibility. C. Criteria unrelated to course outcomes. D. Random point distribution. 23. In fostering mentoring relationships in CSPM programs, what approach best ensures trust and accountability? A. Maintaining confidentiality and setting clear expectations. B. Sharing mentees' weaknesses publicly. C. Avoiding structured agreements. D. Prioritizing mentor dominance over collaboration. 24. To ensure regulatory compliance in project security training, the curriculum must: A. Include up-to-date legal standards integrated into applied tasks. B. Focus only on technical project skills. C. Delay compliance instruction until post-certification. D. Treat compliance as optional supplemental reading. 25. A CSPM candidate resists group learning activities. Which instructional adjustment best respects adult learning principles? A. Provide alternative individual projects linked to real-world tasks. B. Force participation without addressing preferences. C. Eliminate group learning entirely. D. Ignore the learner's concerns. 26. Which evaluation method most effectively measures long-term retention of CSPM concepts? A. Follow-up performance assessments months after training. E. Immediate recall quizzes after lectures. C. Attendance monitoring. D. Anonymous opinion polls. 27. A CSPM mentor is coaching a learner through a high-stress project. Which support method demonstrates effective mentoring? A. Encouraging problem-solving while offering guidance when necessary. B. Withdrawing support to build resilience. C. Completing the project tasks for the mentee. D. Criticizing mistakes without discussion.